Good morning, guys. So today I thought I'd walk you through the products that are in my spring and summer capsule. There are some new items, but if you have not seen my spring and summer capsule makeup video, I will link it up here for you in the cards. And in that video, I walk you through every single item that is in my current collection. A few of you guys were very curious about my thoughts on the Gressa Minimalist Corrective Serum Foundation, and this is the box that it comes in, and this is the bottle. This product contains 0.5 ounces, which is half of like traditional foundations because they're usually about 1 ounce. But honestly, I find that I don't need a lot of this product at all, so I feel like this would last me a really long time, even though amount wise it doesn't sound like very much. So for those of you guys that are completely unfamiliar with this, it is a serum and a foundation and a multivitamin for your face. It is non-toxic and it has a powder finish even though it is a serum. I find that it doesn't really have a powdery finish on me. I do still feel like my skin's really dewy after, and I have problems when I set it with powder, but I'll kind of talk about that as I'm doing my makeup. This serum foundation doesn't contain SPF, so I will have to use a sunscreen underneath, and I will be using the Kula Mineral Sunscreen. This is in the Cucumber Matte Finish. I picked this up when I was in California 2 weeks ago because it's a natural sunscreen and it contains like plant extracts, and the active ingredients are titanium dioxide and zinc oxide. I'm allergic to a lot of the sunscreen ingredients that are in like drugstore, not even just drugstore. I know some like higher end brands use like avobenzone and gosh, I always forget the names, but for me, like titanium dioxide and zinc oxide are the only things that won't irritate or break me out. Avobenzone like gives me rashes and makes me itchy, and it's not cute. So yeah, this has SPF 30. You have to shake it up really well, because even now, like even though I shook it up, there's a lot of like the water and the minerals, they kind of separate, so you want to make sure that you shake it up really well. And the other reason I decided to go with this sunscreen is because it has a matte finish, or claims to have a matte finish, and I kind of like how this feels. It feels very moussey. If you guys have tried or are familiar with the Tarte BB Tinted Treatment Primer, I did a video about that as well. It's like very similar texture. Just feels like mousse. It's not heavy at all. And I've been using it since I've gotten it, and it hasn't irritated my face at all. I do have to be careful about blending it in because there's a good chance that it can create like that white cast on my face if I don't. I made that mistake the first few times that I used it. I didn't blend it in well enough, especially around the nose too. It can leave like a very apparent white cast. I bought this at Sephora, by the way, and I think it was like $36. Yeah. All right, so this guy, I was told that I have to shake it up really, really well. Otherwise the ingredients don't mix properly, and then just you don't get the application that you want. So when I think of serums, I picture something a lot thicker, you know, like especially with the serums that I use at night, you know, or like Korean skincare. The serums that I'm familiar with, they're very, very thick, but this serum foundation is so watery that I can't even use the back of my hand as a palette when I apply this. It even says on the box to drop 2 to 4 drops in the palm of your hand. So that's what I'm gonna do. I have this in the shade 3.5, by the way. It's a little, it's yellow for sure, and it gives me a little bit of a tan, but it's not so dark that my neck and my face are different colors. So, okay. See, I'm just tilting it a little bit, but it's like moving around a lot. For this product, you do have to work quickly because I made the mistake of just putting it on my face like this and doing other things. And even within like a minute, I found that I had to work harder to blend it into my skin. Otherwise, you would see like splotches of yellow on my face. I've seen other reviews and people use a lot more drops for more coverage, but I find that if I use a lot of this, even though if I layer it on, it looks not cakey, but it doesn't sit well. So I like to go light with this and then, you know, just cover any redness or things that need more coverage with a concealer. Immediately after I blend it in, it has kind of like a dewy glow. One thing that I learned from first few times of using this is I have to be really good about blending it around my nose, or it starts lifting around my nose, and then I have to, like, throughout the day, like, kind of tweeze the dry skin off. It's really weird. And my skin these days hasn't been really dry, but this definitely accentuates dry patches if you have any, or even if you don't have any in my case. Yeah, my face is like really well moisturized, but I do find that, like, right in between my brows and like in my chin area around my nose, it does create a little bit of patchiness. I don't really like how it sets on my chin, because I don't think you can tell very much on camera, but it's not the most even coverage. So I just finished applying that first layer, and I can already tell a little bit on my cheeks that there are dry patches, even though my skin wasn't dry at all. I've also used the serum foundation without sunscreen, because initially I thought, man, maybe it's my sunscreen that's not mixing well with the serum foundation, but even without the sunscreen, I get this problem. And then I keep going over it with another thin layer, but I can't seem to smooth it out. Like, I still see some dry patches. On the right side of my cheek, where I have that hyperpigmentation that I always talk about, I layer a little bit more of the serum foundation on, but then if anything, it kind of makes it more yellow, and I need to cancel it out with concealer. So maybe I shouldn't have done that right now. It doesn't do a whole lot in toning down redness. Like, this pimple here is still very visible, and so is this one. And then it can kind of create dry patches, yep, if you have any active breakouts like I do. So that is the first layer. I'm definitely more dewy than I would be using my other tinted moisturizers. So now I have to go in and cover up the redness with my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. So I wanted to move towards cleaner ingredients, right? And that's why I picked up the Beauty Counter Touch-Up Skin. But as much as I like the formula, every single time that I use this pen applicator pisses me off so much. There's so much concealer that has pooled up inside there that I can't get to without a Q-tip, and I just haven't gotten around to digging this out. Yeah, it's just every time I click it, it never comes out when I need it to, and then the next day is just a mess. And just in case I wasn't crazy about this, I had my friend Sergi bring me over a new tube of this, because I finished one up prior to purchasing the Beauty Counter one, and God, I can't quit this one right now. It's so good. And because it's like, if you guys can see the color, it's less yellow than the Gressa Serum Foundation, so it's really good at canceling out the redness, and it's so moisturizing. And this is definitely the saving grace when it comes to, you know, the patchiness that I experience from my cheeks and my active breakouts. So I just kind of put a little bit of the concealer on top, and it just makes everything better. And I'm not trying to mask my pimples completely, because I'm kind of over that. I feel like in my younger years I wanted super flawless skin, but I don't know, it just doesn't look genuine, you know? And it just kind of looks messy throughout the day, so I don't really care if it peeks through a bit. Everyone knows the pimple's there. So another concealer that I have in my capsule right now, I've never talked about this on video, but I got this as a gift, and I'd already opened it and, you know, played around with it a little bit. So I just want to use it before it goes bad. And this is the Intensive Skin Serum Concealer. And I think it's meant for under your eyes more than it is for blemishes. So just to show you guys what this is about, I'm going to use it today. That may have been a little too much. I want to say that compared to the other concealers, this is a bit more, there's definitely like a salmon tint to it, and I think that's supposed to cancel out darkness under your eyes. And once I blend it in, it's it's cool. I don't have orange under eye bags. There it is, blended. So at this point, after all my concealer is on my face, I would set my face with powder, and I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. But the thing with setting my face with powder after the Gressa serum is all the work that I did to get rid of, well, trying my best to get rid of the dry patches, this will just bring it all back, especially around my nose. So this past weekend I went out with Brandon and we were at a coffee shop, and so I was looking in the mirror and I looked around my nose and there was just pieces of skin. Okay, you know what it reminded me of? Like, you know when you're little and you play with Elmer's glue and you pour some into your palm and then you just kind of rub it and then like it becomes like scales, like fish scales, like stretchy fish scales? Well, it was kind of like that around my nose, and I'm like at the coffee shop like tweezing the pieces of like foundation or dry skin or whatever was sitting like right here. Oh, that was so unpleasant. And then after I peeled it off, like there was definitely discoloration. Like it was like red. It just didn't match the rest of my face. So that was annoying. Luckily I was able to, we weren't doing anything after, so we just came home, but that's the thing. So using this Gressa serum foundation, I'm expecting that like around my nose it's gonna look shiny by the end of the day, but I still will set the under eye area. So I feel like the Bobbi Brown serum concealer isn't very drying, so I think I'm gonna be fine under my eyes, and then just right above my brows and in between, I like to set it because I really don't like being shiny there. And also I usually set my chin area with the powder, but same thing, it just starts breaking up and just looking really messy. So I've been leaving that alone. I don't know, I think I went into this Gressa serum foundation with really high expectations because all the reviews I've watched and read, they've all been stellar. But if you guys are thinking of picking this up, like just lower the expectations a bit. And I don't know, maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised, or maybe you'll have a similar experience I'm currently having with this. So let's move to the brows. Nothing has changed here. I'm still using my Shumera Hard Formula. And these days I've been into just not having such bold brows. There was a period of time where I just was really into the darker brow look. I'm kind of phasing out of that. You know what I really regret not picking up? I wish I picked up the Glossier Boy Brow when I was in the States, because that sounds like a perfect product for the look that I want to achieve. Just kind of brushing through what I currently have without adding too much to their natural state. That's it for my brows. I also ran out of my Etude House eyeshadow primer. I don't know of any really good natural alternatives, so I just picked up the NARS one when I was in California. Just do that. Okay, so this new addition to my spring summer capsule makeup is the Too Faced Natural Matte Eyeshadow, and I'm actually such a huge fan of this because all the colors are, you know, super basic. They're all matte. I've never had an all matte eyeshadow palette before. I was trying to use up my NARS Narcissus eyeshadow palette. The colors were really pretty in there and I kept tricking myself into thinking that I could love it, but the fallout on that eyeshadow palette was just, it was something that I didn't want to deal with. Like, I just looked like crap by the end of the day. So I picked this up, and you know what? I think if you're a huge eyeshadow junkie, you might not be crazy about this palette because the color payoff really isn't like the strongest. Like, I really do have to keep layering it on. But for me, who's still such an eyeshadow noob, this is perfect for me. There's a lot of room for error. And yeah, I don't have to worry about putting too much color on my eyes, and I'm like still learning how to blend and do all that stuff. So for me, as an eyeshadow beginner, if you will, I'm happy with this. So there's three looks in this palette. So This is the day look, and this is supposed to be an all over lid. And then I think like the center of the eyes and then towards the end. And this is the classic look, these 3 colors here. And the last one is the fashion look with these 3 colors. I've been using this middle row a whole lot. So I'm using Lace Teddy all over the lid. And then I take Strapless, which is this color here. And then I just kind of place it. I'm not a makeup artist, so don't judge me. Can you guys even see what's going on? I don't have cool lighting like a lot of the other YouTubers have, so I don't know if like the color gets picked up at all with you guys, but I refuse to use artificial lighting because I feel like it just makes everything a lot more magical than it really is in real life, and I don't know, I don't really care for that illusion. I don't need my skin to look clearer than it really is on camera, you know? Or like I said, I'm not a makeup artist and I don't need these colors to look all crazy and vibrant. So yeah, this is Risque, this dark brown shade here that I'm just applying like closer to my lash line. So that's all I do, and then I take my blending brush and then I just kind of blur out the edges so it's not like a huge stark contrast. So that's all I do for my eyelids. I don't even wear eyeliner, as most of you guys know, at least not on a daily basis anymore. Like, I'm looking at my face right now and I'm like, oh man, I really like how this Serum foundation looks on me. And I have this thought every morning that I use this, I feel this way, but we'll see in a couple of hours. I'm using my Etude House Dr. Mascara Fixer. This is the only eyelash primer that's ever worked for me. Okay, so I have 2 mascaras. My favorite of all time, the Kiss Me Heroin Make Long and Curl Mascara. It's a Japanese brand. And then I have the Lily Lolo. Now, I don't like the Lily Lolo mascara. I know, everyone loves it, but I don't like it because it just doesn't hold a curl for me very well. Like, it's okay in the beginning, but I just have to expect that my lashes will just be stick straight really soon. And I try to use it with a very light hand because the wand is pretty massive and it's really saturated. And so if I'm not careful and I put more than this, it'll just bring it down even faster. Yeah, and this kind of gives me panda eyes by the end of the day, which I don't love. But again, the only redeeming quality is that it's non-toxic. And this non-toxic beauty transition is kind of a pain in the butt. I'm gonna go in and fix my eyeshadow a little bit because sometimes after I curl my lashes, the way that I press the eyelash curler on my eyes kind of rubs off the shadow a little bit. So I'm gonna do that, and that, and then that, and then that. Then when I do this, I have to fix my lashes because now some of them are sticking together. It's like the eyes are such a long process for me. So watch, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna end up getting some on my lids. I'm gonna have to go back in with eyeshadow and then go back in with mascara, and then I'm here all day. What I also have to do after applying the Lily Lolo mascara is kind of just hold up my lashes a little bit, just to buy myself a little more time before they become straight. Close up on my eyes, nothing special. Now by this time, when I'm done with the eyes, I like to just dust off the remaining setting powder. My favorite bronzer. It's not meant to be a bronzer, but I always use it as a bronzer. This is the Honest Beauty Luminizing Powder in Dusk Reflection. And I just put it everywhere. And my highlighter, this is the RMS Beauty Living Luminizer. And I just put that right up here. I'm definitely going to get a second pot when this is finished, for sure. And then a little up here, and then a little in here. Done. No, I'm not done. My lips. Okay, my lips, I'm going to use, actually I'm going to use this just so I can show you guys what it looks like on my lips. This is Bite Beauty's High Pigment Lip Pencil in Tannin. And this is what I was talking about when I said I bought this to replace NARS Cruella, which is my favorite red of all time. So let me show you guys what it looks like on my lips. God, I love you. I love you so much. It smells good and it's non-toxic. What? I feel like it's even creamier than NARS Cruella too, so if I'm not careful, it can smudge. And I'd say it's a tad bit glossier than NARS Cruella. I am done. Before I go, I want to mention that what I really think is cool about Gressa is when I placed this order, I took a guess, and I guessed that I'd be the shade 3.5. But they did send some samples of some other things, but what I really appreciated was that they sent a sample of shade 3, which is one lighter than the 3.5 obviously, and then a sample of 2.5. So in case this didn't work out, yeah, I had the option of trying these two in case these were a better match. So I really appreciated that about this brand. This Thursday, I'm going to be talking about more details about my 4-month-long shopping ban. And I just found out this morning that my friend Susanna is in town visiting from New York, and she's here until next week. So I'm going to snag her for a morning chat on Thursday. So we'll kind of talk about the shopping ban together. I'll see you guys really soon. I hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.